In this video, we are going to learn about a very important alternative to the if-else statement, and that is the ternary operator. So, the if-else statement that we just learned about cannot be used in all situations. For example, sometimes we need to define a variable conditionally. So, basically define a variable based on a certain condition. And so then something like the ternary operator can be a lot better. So let me show you how that works, and let's bring back our example here of the number of votes. So let's just change this here to 5 again maybe. And the votes of false, do we have them somewhere? Not yet. Okay, I will define them again here. So let's say votes false are 7. And then just like before, I'm also going to calculate. Let's actually add a const here. So the total upvotes are going to be the votes for interesting plus the votes of mind-blowing. So this is similar to what we had already calculated before, right? And now let's say that we want to define a message variable based on a condition. And that condition is whether this total upvotes number is greater than the votes false. So again, we want to define the value of this message variable here based on a condition. And that condition will include the total upvotes and the number of false votes. So voting that the fact is false. And so if more people voted that the vote is correct, basically, then the number of people who voted that it's false, then the message should be that the fact is correct, and otherwise it should be the opposite. But actually, let's see how that works in code. So we write a condition just like we would write in an if-else statement. So we can say total upvotes is greater than votes false. And then basically we ask a question here by using the question mark. And then here we define the value that we want this operator to return. Because remember that the ternary operator, so basically this operator here, always returns something. So it returns a value. So just like 1 plus 1 returns the value of 2, the ternary operator will return a value as well. And it will return either this value or another one. So the one that comes here after the colon. So let's write actually the strings that we want to return. Let's say the fact is true. And then here, let's say might be false. Check more sources. All right. And then finally, we can alert that message just like we did before. So let's see, and we get the fact is true. So we got this first string right here. So let's recap what happened here. We are using a ternary operator, which is called ternary operator because it has 3 parts, not just 2 parts. So it has this condition here. That's the first part. Then it has the second part, which will become the result of the operator in case this condition is true. And then we have the third part of the operator here after this colon. And so this is the result of the operator if the condition is false. Now, right now, the total upvotes is 25. So 20 plus 5. And the votes false is 7. So indeed, this is greater here. And so then the result of the operator will be this. And so that value is then in the end the result of this entire thing here. And so that's the value that will then be assigned into message. So it will be stored in that box. And so then once we alert that here, this is what we get. And of course, let's try the opposite. If it was 77, then of course this would be false. And then what we get, exactly, might be false or fallace or whatever that is. Check more sources. Okay. And if this was maybe a bit too confusing, we can do it even simpler. Let's do that here right in the console even. So we can say 3 greater than 7. If so, then create a string A. If not, create a string B. And so if we run that operation, what we get is B. And so the logic here is the same. This is true or false? Well, it is false. 3 is very clearly smaller or less than 7, right? And so then it will jump here to this branch, so to this third part of the operator, and this is then the result of running the operator. Now you can hit the up key on your keyboard, and then it will go to the previously run. So let's do 0, run it again, and then indeed we get A. Okay, so let's comment this one out so we don't always get that annoying alert there. But yeah, this ternary operator is really, really useful in all places where JavaScript actually expects a value. So running an if-else statement like this does not produce a value. So this means we could not do this. We cannot create like if total upvotes greater than votes false, then do A, and else do B, for example. That is simply not allowed, because what the if-else statement will do is to simply run the code that is here. So here, for example, it simply runs this code, but it doesn't return anything. So there's really no result in terms of a value produced of this if-else statement. And actually that's why we call it statement and not an expression, but that's a whole other topic, and this is just a crash course, so I will not go deep into that. What matters here for me is that whenever JavaScript expects a value and you want to define that value conditionally, then you need to use a ternary operator. And this is going to be extremely important in React, so in the next section, which is why I'm insisting a lot on this topic right here. And also, we will see a great example of using the ternary operator in the next video. And so after a quick break, I hope to see you there soon.